welcome, one and all. The stars have aligned, you lucky, lucky people. We are all here, although Rob's just reading his phone
I'm actually looking ahead at the notes for the show.
because he
Actually,
hasn't bothered looking at the notes
no,
prior.
I'm just one slide ahead. That's the reason. But I am ahead. That's the important thing.
Always one step ahead.
Yep.
I am Lee at Death from the Shadows. Joining me today is Rob
Hello.
at Meadows Miniatures and John at D6 Miniatures.
Hello.
Hello, hello. How are we all on this fine March morning? It's drizzling outside.
Yeah, it's a nonsense. The weather is a nonsense, but I think we are in various stages of heresy pumpedness, as we've been discussing off of camera.
Yeah,
News feels like it's on the verge of breaking, and we're discussing how that's affecting all of us.
yeah. I think I think the general consensus is we're all just kind of waiting now, isn't it?
Hmm. Does
Waiting.
with our breath bated.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. There's been lots of news churning out. If you're not on the WhatsApp group, go to our Instagram
Yeah,
account and then whatever you call it, the little link in the
I'll
bio.
put the link in the show notes as well when I upload this.
There you go. There's been lots of news coming out on there of
There has
sneaky little
actually.
spies who've been seeing pictures apparently.
Yes,
Um,
yes.
it's all very kind of
Feel
yeah.
clandestine.
Yeah, it feels very like Cold War, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
absolutely.
grainy pictures in some back room somewhere.
Yeah,
Um,
someone's been sat on a bench outside Warhammer World with
yeah.
cap tipped at a specific angle, holding yesterday's newspaper, and
Yeah.
Oh, deep
Couple of
throat.
holes cut in the
Yeah.
paper.
yeah, handing over files. So it's yeah, it
Yes.
feels like the stars are starting to align a little bit. Some of the stuff that we have been hearing is maybe not just rumor and scuffle, but it might be cemented in a vagueness of reality. So
Or or we're just being absolutely wound
oh,
up
I
by
would
a couple of absolute fucking wind-up
I
merchants.
would
I don't know,
love
who
it if
knows?
that was the case. I genuinely, I would be like, fair play, you lot, fair
That would
fucking
be quite
play.
funny, yeah. Yeah. Anyways, third edition news aside, what are we talking about today? We are doing a battle royale. Now, we have done this previously with Legion Terminators.
Gosh, that created
Um,
such a
I was,
storm, didn't it?
yeah,
Whoa.
I
Yeah,
was gonna say it went down well with some people, and some people were like, "Fuck you guys! I fucking hate you!
yeah,
Fuck!"
yeah.
It was
Uh,
quite like that. It was quite like
Yeah,
that.
and
Yeah.
we were like, all right, it's just our opinions, right?
Sure, bro.
Yeah.
So what we will say before we do this one is Kerry wrote all of this. So if you don't
Yes.
agree with anything,
Yeah.
just
Don't
aim it
don't comment
all
here.
at
Just in
Kerry.
fact, comment here because it's good for the algorithm. But then go onto Instagram, message at Lorgar_42. Give him all kinds of dogs abuse because we're merely puppets to the puppet master
We
today.
are
That's
literally
true.
we have had
Speaking
no input
speaking
in this.
speaking of abuse, did you guys read the email from David Murphy that we got this morning? Have you guys read it yet?
No.
Okay,
No.
I'm just gonna segue. I'm gonna completely segue into this email, and then we can go back to the captain's battle.
Should we just
So
wait for the community show?
this is about abuse. This one.
Oh.
So it was headed Heresy event Surrey Spartans. So then I started to get heart palpitations at this point,
Uh-oh.
just reading the header on
Oh
it,
no.
and it says. I'm a member of the Surrey Spartans, a club which I believe you have a fond experience of. Sent me your most recent YouTube video, and then they went on to say, and I quite like this as well. So they just mentioned that they're coming to the Royal Rumble, but I thought this was the best bit. There will be 10 of us from across London and the South coming down to play 2 games. Happy to send some pictures after the event if interested. Suitably angled to also appreciate the aesthetic quality of the clubhouse. I thought that I was like, what a zinger! Absolutely
Yeah.
brilliant. That's the kind of mad bants that we have in our email inbox that we get from
Yeah.
fans of Heresy Hammer. Absolutely love it, David. Thanks ever so much for the email. I did worry at the start there, actually, that I was going to
Yeah.
get a torrent of abuse.
Yeah, I was
Thinking,
gonna say,
oh,
is
what
this
have we
gonna
done
get all
now?
serious now? Like,
Yeah. Nah, just bad. All aboard the banter bus,
I
baby.
like it. I like it. Anyways, back on track. Yes, so we will be doing a battle royale. a royal rumble of all the first captains or stand-ins, because we don't actually have rules for all the first captains. But before that, shout out to all our sponsors. So first up, Gator 3D Printing on Instagram at gator.3D and on Facebook, Gator 3D Printing. Go check him out. He has been extremely busy lately, but he has been popping back up on WhatsApp recently. So if you want any awesome 3D printed stuff, go check out Gator 3D. We also have Beowulf, www.beowulfminiatures.com, and on Instagram at beowulf_miniature_printing, and on Facebook, Beowulf Miniatures Printing. They have about 10 million 3D printers in a shed in their garden. So if you want any awesome stuff, go check them out or hit them up, message them, and they will sort you out. And more 3D printing at Sacrus Mundus on Instagram, and they're also on Colts 3D, My Mini Factory, Sacrus Mundus, and on Patreon. They create STLs, I believe that is the name. I'm not a 3D printing nerd.
STCs, you mean?
STCs, yeah, STCs, yeah. For terrain, so you can obviously size it to whatever game system you play, and you can see in the pictures they have some fucking amazing stuff. So if you want anything, go check them out. But that is it for our sponsors for now. So yes, episode 66, First Captain's a Battle Royale. Do we have any? Do you have any thoughts or feelings about this? Do you have any? Is it obvious who's going to win, or do you have anyone you want to win? We don't give a fuck.
So, I mean, in law wise, Garviel Loken's a total dick kicker, isn't he? Law wise,
Yeah.
I mean, he comes back from the dead. And Sigismund obviously is going to be up there. Khan is going to be up there in terms of prowess. Argotal when he's not getting stabbed in the back. Spoiler alert: when he's not getting stabbed in the back.
Spoiler alert. 15 years spoiler alert.
Too late. So yeah, I'm excited to see it. I think that before we do this one, I think I hadn't realised quite how strong Callus Typhon was
I know he's
until Paul started to play with him,
Yeah.
and then I was like, oh. This is really fruity.
I mean, you know, if Paul's playing with him, it's bullshit, don't you? That guy.
Well, he brought two bloody heavy sports squads to the Civil War. I was like, "Whoa, steady on there, Paul."
Did he?
Yeah, he did actually. Yeah,
Classic.
he would have brought Callus Typhon if he was allowed, I'm sure. But he's a bit of a dark horse, I think, because he's not an obvious choice. But I think when people play Paul and then see the carnage he unleashes with Typhon, I think he's just like. Oh my God, he is absolutely savage. So yeah, I'd be interested to see whether any of those guys make the top.
Interesting. I haven't actually looked at who wins this because I want to keep it a little.
Oh, you
bit
want
of
it as a surprise? Okay, yeah. I mean, it's
But I
not
have
like
a
we didn't talk
feeling-
about it for months and give Kerry
Yeah,
input
but
or
I
anything.
don't
But
look at the messages, so that's fine.
Unless Lee is specifically tagged in something in the.
you can see the dynamics behind real inside baseball here, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, I think it's obviously disappointing that we haven't got rules for My Beloved Iron Warriors, which is obviously a shame. I think there's some obvious potential answers. Sevatar being one.
Oh yeah.
Oh, interesting. Yeah,
King Dick Kicker, Sevatar. We've got Khan, who could not be ruled out of anything.
Nope.
Your boy Sigismund, unfortunately, always strong.
Yes.
So he's going to be right up there.
It's the Eternal Warrior, isn't it, for him? That's the thing that makes him. It's not. I mean, his combat prowess is impressive, especially with like an instant death sword. But it's also the fact you can't kill him outright. That I think for me is the big thing about Sigis.
I think we're gonna see an Imperial Fist champion at the end.
Oh, don't say that, Lee.
Fucking sad. Just
Can't
makes me
get in with
sad. But. Yeah, let's get into it. Anyways, first captains. Following the success of the Legion Terminator Highlander knockout tournament in a previous episode, ably won by Imperial Fist Huskars, Oh, people are already raging at that, aren't they?
Yeah.
We decided to get competitive with Legion's first captains. So now this did present a bit of a challenge. Of the 18 legions, only 9 actually have rules for their first captains. And as we know, some legions are very short on name characters at all. Luckily, when we asked every legion to send a representative, they offered us a second to take their captain's place. So who will claim the title of the first amongst the first? Capo di capo. I've got a box in my way now. Below is a list of all the first captains or their legion's equivalent. The names in brackets are the character that is standing in for them in their absence for the purposes of this duel. Some of these substitutions are not like for like, but it
Yeah.
allows all 18 legions to compete. So, first up, Dark Angel's first captain was Luther. And representing him in today's Royal Rumble will be Corswain. The White Scars will be represented by Kinzar.
Oh, great. He's
Space,
great, especially with the more attack beside him.
Yeah.
yeah.
Part the
Space
horse's
Wall,
round or whatever it is.
Hmm.
Space Wolves is Gunnar Gunhilt, and he will be represented by Harl Redblade. Imperial Fists, we have Sigismund, boo, boo. Blood Angels Ralderon, Iron Hands. His first captain was Gabriel Santar, and he will be represented by Ultek Moore. Ultramarines, the first captain was Marius Gage, and he will be represented today by Remus Ventanas.
Oh, he's not going to do very well. I can tell you that
No.
already.
He can hit
No,
people with his
yeah.
flag.
Yeah.
Salamanders are Telius Numian, and is going to be represented by Nomus Raitan today.
We didn't want to send the dread in though.
Yeah, that
That's
would
a
be
bit
a
of
bit.
it.
Yeah, yeah. Raven Guard. No first captain, but there is a little star here. Corax runs a council of high commanders, not favouring any single one. Oh, he's such a fucking communist, isn't he?
Yeah.
So he will be represented today by Alvarax Maun. Emperor's Children. First captain was Julius Caesaron, being represented by Eidolon today. Iron Warriors, we had Forax, and he will be represented by Erasmus Golg.
Oh, Golg is such an absolute slug, and Forex is
Fucking.
just he's just one of the unsung heroes of the
This,
Heresy. Love that guy.
isn't this the guy that like got killed and then had his ship stolen by an Imperial Fist?
Golg, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, just the guy's an absolute snail.
Night Lords, we have the fan favorite Sevatar. World Eaters, we have the even more fan favorite Khan. Death Guard, we have Typhon, which, as we've described, is clearly whack as fuck because Paul runs him. Thousand Suns, we have Araman, but we have some more stars here. Stars everywhere. First position and Legion changes depending on which Arcana is in ascendancy. There you go. Some space wizard shit. Sons of Horus, we have Abaddon. Word bearers, we have Corpheiron.
Oh, it's so
He's gonna
sad,
get
isn't it?
fucking battered, isn't he? Little Weedling fucking human. And the Alpha Legion, first captain was Ingo Petch. Represented by Dynat today. So they are the first captains, and who is representing them?
So just to clarify, so Eidolon is a Lord Commander. He's not actually a first captain, is he?
Correct.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Interesting.
He is Lord Commander Eidolon. He's not first captain, and also
interesting.
Lucius ranks lower than him, which is why Lucius isn't there either.
Okay. Interesting.
Lucius is just a bitch. He's the regular captain, I think. He's just some sort of
happens to be good with a sword, doesn't
whole
he?
lot of
Yeah.
word bearers got done really dirty here, didn't they?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They could have sent in Argotal, but instead they got the
said-
T3 core
they
But
said-
then
Pharaon.
again, Argol Tal
Top
is just the
commander.
captain, isn't he? He's not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He wasn't. Yeah. I mean, he was obviously favored by Lorgar because he was a pure demon, half
Galvorback,
demon
isn't he?
dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, Galvorback. So, yeah, interesting. But yeah, Corfu. That's fucking. Oh, weedly little old man in a Terminator suit. Right. Okay. So the rules of engagement. The rules. Once again, random seeding for all entrants. Competition is judged not just who would win in combat, but also factors in who brings the most to their legion on the table in buffs and boons. Winner takes all, knockout until one is crowned king. Common ground with one or two exceptions. Most competitors are strength and toughness 4, initiative 5, leadership 10 with a 2+ armor save. Yeah, most competitors.
I think
Uh,
we are going to
oh.
get some horrific backlash off the back of this
Oh,
video.
I think we are as
No,
well. Yeah. Like I
blame
say,
Kerry.
just aim it all at Kerry.
Yeah,
So round one, Remus, Ventanus, and Autekmore get a pass, it looks like.
yeah.
Yeah.
So we have Araman versus Eidolon, Khan versus Dinah, Typhon versus Corswain, Alvarax Malm versus Kinzar, and we have Nomus Raitan versus Sigismund, Sevatar versus Hull Redblade, Abaddon versus Golg, oh Golg, and Corphayron versus Raldoron.
I
Oh,
think there are
we
some
love to
spicy
see it.
matchups in there. Khan, Typhon Corswain is the one that stands out to me. That is an
Yes,
interesting one because there are some.
yes.
I think there's some obvious ones here. I mean, like Abaddon versus Gold, and then Corferon versus anyone.
Corphayron.
Corferon.
Corphayron versus Imperial
Yeah.
Guard.
This is the thing, you see. I think Typhon versus Causeway, we're going to lose
We're
we're
going to
going to
lose a
lose
powerful,
someone. We're
yeah,
going to lose a
yeah,
powerful one in the first round. But
yeah, yeah.
yeah, same with Araman versus Eidolon as well. Actually, I think they'd both be right up there had the randomizer not done its randomizing.
Yes. Well,
Round one.
okay. So first up, we have Araman versus Eidolon. So their stats are, they're both movement 7. Eidolon is weapon skill 6. Araman is weapon skill 5. Ballistic skill both 5, strength and toughness both 4, both 3 wounds, initiative 5. They both have 4 attacks each, leadership 10, and an invulnerable save of 4 plus. Araman comes in at 185 points and Eidolon at 215. Araman is equipped with I still can't say that fucking word.
Corvidaean Scepter.
There you go. +1 strength, AP2, reach 1, force, mastercrafted, and he has a mastercrafted Asphyx, a bolt pistol. Eidolon is equipped with what is essentially a mastercrafted Thunderhammer, which ignores the unwieldy rule on a successful charge, which is fucking huge. Uh, he has a Death Scream, which is Assault 1, Strength 2, AP dash template weapon with pinning and rending 6 plus. Also has a Archaeotech pistol. Araman is Relentless, Master of the Legion, and Adamantium Will 3 plus, and Eidolon is Relentless and Master of the Legion. Araman's Warlord trait is after all deployment may move up to 3 friendly units and redeploy anywhere. He can also make an additional reaction in any phase. He does not need to declare which one, which is pretty fucking awesome. And Eidolon's Warlord trait is pick an enemy HQ or Primarch as the rival. Eidolon and his unit get +1 to hit against rival and his unit. If rival's unit causes a friendly unit to be removed or fall back, they also gain a +1 to wound on the rival's unit, which is fucking amazing. Finally, Eidolon and his unit may only react to the rival's unit, but this reaction is free. And then Araman also comes with Corvidae Minor Arcana and Divination and Thaumaturgy Psychic Powers. And Eidolon comes with Sonic Shriekers and a Warhawk Jump Pack. So he is super duper fast. How do we
Oh,
feel about these two matchup?
I think if we're assuming that Eidolon gets the charge, then I think it's a clear win for Eidolon. The issue that Araman's going to be having is he's going to be hitting on 6s,
Yes.
which is because he is a lower weapon skill than Eidolon, and Eidolon comes with Sonic Shriekers, meaning that he's at -1 to hit. So he's going to be hitting on 6s, and Eidolon is going to be hitting on 2s
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
with
Yeah.
a Thunderhammer.
With which, yeah, if he gets the charge, ignores the
Yeah.
unwieldy. So what if he doesn't get the charge? I mean, I'm still thinking he wins, to be honest.
Yeah.
Uh,
I just think that, Araman's gonna have he might hit once,
Yeah.
potentially.
I mean, the
Yes, it's
weapon
master
skill
crafted.
difference is just huge in this edition, isn't it?
I know it's
It's just
crazy.
massive. And then we're presuming that Araman will be part of the rival unit, so Eidolon just
Yes,
getting his
I think we
+1 to
can
hit.
safely assume that. Yeah,
Mm.
and I think as well when we look at kind of USRs and warlord traits, other buffs, etc. I think Araman does slightly more for the army,
Yes.
but
Yeah,
at
yeah,
the
yeah.
same time, I think Eidolon just wins this hands down for me personally.
Yes. Although, like Rob said before we start recording, Araman's warlord trait is amazing as long as you're going first. If you're going second, it's kind of meh because
Mm,
although and redeploy anywhere. I'm guessing it's redeploy anywhere in their
Yeah,
deployment
it'll be in
zone
the
and not
deployment
just
zone.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, I mean, the additional reaction in any phase is actually really, really fucking handy. Um, just that functionality of being able to put an extra reaction where you need it. If you want to react in the movement phase because your opponent's fucking all over you, you can move back, push forward, whatever you want to do. Or if your opponent's got like an assaulty army and you know you just gonna overwatch, you can save that reaction till the charge phase. So I think that's actually really, really good. Um, but
yeah,
yeah, I don't
this
know.
this for me is clear, but I don't know if it is for
Yeah,
anyone else.
yeah, I think
Rob?
it's clear. Eidolon.
So I think for me, Araman is a surgical tool, and Eidolon is a blunt instrument. I think if you've got a very specific list that is built around Araman, then this will, I think, be, he will become very useful. I'm sure there's Thousand Sons players saying, I would always take him. If you're taking a Guard of the Crimson King list and you've only got a few units on the board, having that flexibility to redeploy is probably going to be very useful, particularly if you're if you get the first turn. But I think we just need to face it that Eidolon is so savage in combat with the
Yeah,
best weapon in the game, going well above his base initiative if he goes on the charge. That he's just going to go from combat to combat and sweep and then sweep again.
yeah,
So
Yeah,
I think um, there are probably ways where Araman can be used and he could be game changing. But I just have a feeling that Eidolon is just such a smash captain that he's just going to be useful no matter what level of player that you are, I think. So
yeah,
I think probably on balance, Eidolon is going to win, but I think it's because you need you need to be play Araman in a very refined way. I've always thought the divination is odd for him, not because of the lore. I think it's perfect for him, but it's always about what unit would he go with? Because you're like, oh well, precision shots like on a 5 up, that's really
hmm
good. But you don't really want him like in. It doesn't feel quite right to have him in backfield
no,
supporting. And it's always an interest. It's not like it's such an obvious psychic power to take. Like on a, it's not like biomancy or whatever, right? So he's buffing up segment to be T5 and strength 5. So I think that, I think that there's lots of ways to use him. But yeah, I'd probably give it to Eidolon on balance. But I'd be interested to know Thousand Sons players' thoughts below about what makes him so good.
yeah. I think it's as clear as in the context of what we're doing here. This is as clear as day for me. It's an
cool.
Eidolon win.
Well, shall we have a look? So all three of us are saying Eidolon, and
Woo!
computer says Eidolon. There you go. Let us know your thoughts on this one. If you're a Thousand Suns player and you're shouting at the computer screen at the minute, going "Fuck you, Araman will beat him." Let
Yeah,
us know. But we say
let us know
no.
why Kerry's wrong.
Yeah. So up next we have Nomus Raitan versus Sigismund. Here we go. So they're both movement 7. Nomus is weapon skill 5. Sigismund is weapon skill 7. Oh, ballistic skill, Nomus is 5. Sigismund is 4. Both strength 4. Both toughness 4. Nomus has 3 wounds. Sigismund has 4 wounds. Both initiative 5, both 4 attacks, both leadership 10, and both have a 4+ invulnerable save. Nomus is 215 points and Siggy is 230 points. So weapons. Nomus comes with Dark Star Falling, which is a +2 strength AP2 two-handed unwieldy. So there you go, two-handed. Combi Flamer and a bolt pistol. And Sigismund obviously comes with the Black Sword, +2 strength, AP2, two-handed, instant death, mastercrafted. He also has a mastercrafted bolt pistol. Special rules. Nomus is relentless, Master of Legion, stubborn and hatred. And Sigismund is Master Legion, fearless, eternal warrior, adamantium will 3+, and precision strikes 3+. Warlord traits, Nomus, any salamander's dreadnought within 6 inches adds +2 to their charge distance. Additional shooting phase reaction. Okay. Sigismund Warlord trait +1 VP and +1 combat resolution for every unit for the rest of the game if Sigismund kills the enemy's Warlord in a challenge. And he has an additional movement reaction. And other rules, Nomus has Mantle of the Elder Drake and counts as a chaplain for any rules that require one. And Sigismund is +2 to all charge moves and sweeping advancement rolls. Templar Brethren are troops choices. Sigismund must always make and accept challenges, which kind of what you want him doing. Successful invuln saves made against Sigismund in a challenge must be re-rolled. Jesus fucking Christ.
Are we even going to bother discussing this one, or we're just going to chalk up to Sigismund and move on with our lives?
I think but we don't want Salamander's players throwing rocks at our houses.
Oh no,
So
that's not what I'm getting at. It's just that Sigismund is
there's
just
only one,
such
and he lives in Australia. So.
Yeah.
So it's interesting that they are only 15 points difference. I
know, I can't-
have not realised that.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And in any other circumstance, like he would actually be pretty good. And don't forget,
He
it's
is,
not just in a challenge. Like just having stubborn and hatred, you know, him
Yeah,
buffing a fire
yeah.
drake unit would be really
Yep.
really powerful. Like, you know, I guess what the thing I would say is if he's in a big squad of fire drakes and then you've got Sigismund and then a squad of Templar Brethren against each other, I actually think that this would be a bit of a slugfest, and I'm not quite sure what would happen if it was like, yeah, I have a feeling overall that Fire Drakes might win it, but I
Yeah.
think that
I think that says more about fire drakes than it
yeah,
does.
and that's
Yeah.
the problem, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the problem because if he was in a squad of despoilers, then the Templars would just like butcher their way through.
Yeah.
I think the thing that as we were saying before, the big thing about Sigismund is that he's fearless, so he doesn't need the stubborn, right? Like, and even if you lose a combat, he's just going to stick around. Being precision strikes 3+ is absolutely brilliant. So it's interesting, isn't it? Because he's always got to make and accept challenges. So in most cases, that probably wouldn't come up. But in circumstances where there's nobody to challenge, you're just like, oh, that Vexilla's gone, oh, that Nuncio's got, you know, you can pick and choose like
Yeah.
which things are taken out of it as well. +2 to charge moves, I mean that's pretty, you know, from a 12 to a 10, that's really really fruity.
Yeah.
And like he's the one of the only characters, if not the only, that just like doesn't need a rite of war to unlock special units of
Yes,
troops.
yeah.
Like it just
Yeah.
gets
It's-
like that's so unique. I mean,
It's
some
actually a
Primarchs can't even
throwback
do
to
that.
first edition,
Yeah,
isn't it?
yeah, yeah,
Like,
yeah.
is he the only character that does that? I can't think of anyone else off the top of my
I
head.
think he might be the only one. And then just one final thing: if these guys were in a combat against each other, because it's obviously, yeah, it's not just it's about everything really that we're comparing today. But like Mantle of the Elder Drake doesn't matter for shit because you can't. It's not saving you from the instant death. Like it's just,
No. Yeah.
and that's the thing here that I think Raitan would have done quite well in other circumstances, but like against
I agree with you, actually.
It's got
Yeah.
a poor draw against Sigismund, so
Yeah.
Someone has
Sigismund's
to go
also
against him.
yeah, he's weapon skill 7. He's also got 4 wounds on his profile, and he can't be instant killed. So like, yeah.
I mean,
I
Eternal
mean,
Warrior
15
as well.
Yeah.
15 points difference is bananas.
Yeah, it does something's not quite right there, but
Yeah.
yeah. Well, I'm going to give it to Sigismund then.
I
Yeah,
mean, yeah, me too.
Sigismund, every day. And there it is. No surprises there. Yeah, Sigismund wins this round. Sorry, Salamanders players. Like you say,
Yeah.
good character, just
He is a good
not
character, just not in
Sigismund
this
good.
context.
No.
Yeah.
Right, who's up next? Here we go. Oh, are we on Eidolon again?
Uh,
Okay, so I was completely wrong. Ramus doesn't get a pass. Eidolon just has to fight twice. So
poor
this is
Idol.
Eidolon versus Ramus Ventanus. So they're both movement 7. Eidolon's weapon skill 6. Ramus is weapon skill 5. And then they are both ballistic skill 5, both strength and toughness 4. Ramus has 4 wounds, Eidolon has 3. They are both initiative 5. Eidolon has 4 attacks, Ramus has 3. They're both leadership 10. Both have a 4+ invulnerable save. Ramus is 175 points, and Eidolon, as we know, is 215 points. So I won't go through all the weapons and special rules of Eidolon because we've literally just done that.
What is
But for
Remus doing
Ramus,
with 4 wounds?
It's crazy,
he's
right?
just
He's like a
Yeah.
weird praetor slash centurion
Yeah.
mix. Yeah.
Bananas.
uh, So he has Pathan, a strength user, AP3, Rending 5+ Mastercrafted, a bolt pistol, and melter bombs. Meh. He's Master Legion and he has Adamantium Will 3+. His Warlord trait is any Ultramarines unit within 3 inches of an objective automatically pass leadership or morale checks. Fuck. Additional movement. So he has an additional reaction in the movement phase, and he comes with the Legion Standard and the Nuncio Vox. Interesting. Okay, so
Ooh.
um,
I think if we
ooh,
were just talking single combat, this is a whitewash for Eidolon.
yeah, I
However,
think
this is not the only context we're talking. For starters, he's 40 points cheaper. And his warlord trait is absolutely off the chain. Off the chain. Rob, as the world's best competitive Ultramarines player, how would you describe Remus
That is true.
Ventanus?
That is a true fact in the world. In fact, let's
Yeah.
not forget
Yeah.
that. So
Can you just
he
zoom your camera out? Because I don't think we can get your head
size of my
quite.
head,
Yeah.
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 So I would argue that he has a better warlord trait than anybody else in the game.
I think
And
that's hard to dispute, personally,
and
yes.
it's even better in some circumstances than some Sire of the Legion rules that Primarchs get. Like, and I think when people read it, they go, "Well, he's not like that good in close combat." But essentially, what you're saying is, if any infantry unit is within 3 inches, and it might not just be infantry actually, it might be all units. I need to double check. But if any Ultramarine unit is within 3 inches, they are essentially fearless. They're not going to fail pinning or morale checks, and they're just going to hold their ground. So you might be looking at Ventalis being like, well, he's only got a standard. Well, he's stubborn, but the moment he's on an objective, he's basically fearless now.
Yeah, he's
And he's
nuts.
got a Nuncio Vox to help him with the night fights in order to get there so he doesn't fail any checks. And then you can just sit tac squads, assault squads, breacher squads on objectives all game. And then people have to fight you to get you off of that objective. Like and I think that essentially what this might as well say is that your units are fearless for within 3 inches of an objective. Like it's so powerful in Siege of Cathonia. Like, and I'd go so far as to say he's the best army buffer in the game. Very lackluster. Sorry, like non-Primarch character, very lackluster in close combat. Like he won't do too much in close combat. But yes, he's pretty off the chain.
He's really good. I think his warlord trait is worth 174 of those 175 points you're paying for him.
100%, 100%. Like it is a bargain at that
Yeah.
price.
And this is really tough because in single combat, I would want, but obviously in single combat, Eidolon just literally hammers him into the ground,
Yeah, exactly.
knocks him in like
Yeah.
a fucking tent peg.
Yeah.
But the difficulty is that we're trying to be overall
Yeah.
subjective here, not just so in the context of this. I want to give it to Eidolon. My heart says Eidolon, but my head says, and obviously my head, being the logical part of my body, goes with the logic of Remus Ventanus as the winner of this. As much
Well,
as it pains me to say it,
yeah, too right.
and it really
Lee,
does cause me pain and grief. Lee's not paying any attention at all.
Lee,
Oh,
you're
I'm just
gonna
trying to see if he
reveal
is
this.
any unit. Both Remus Ventanus and any units composed entirely
Yeah.
of models with Legionnaires as starters, Ultramarine special rule in an army with Remus Ventanus.
Yeah. So
As
like
its warlord,
speeders, it's not just
will
infantry, it's
automatically pass any
speeders, right?
leadership test
Yeah.
or morale
Oh
checks
my
against
God,
all they
it's
have
so
against a
good.
model within 3 inches of
It's
an
nuts.
objective. Yeah, yeah.
I
It's
didn't, yeah.
bananas.
I didn't think he had a 4-up invuln, but he might have an Iron Halo, which I didn't
Uh,
realize. Been
mm,
rolling 5 upstream all.
yes, he has an Iron Halo.
Oh, right, interesting. Cool.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, let's see who we gave it to, Lee, because we're like, it should be Fentanus. Let's have a look.
Yeah, so sorry. Sorry, I was reading rules. Yeah, so I agree. Remus Ventanus. And the winner is Remus Ventanus. There you go.
God, it makes
Although
me so sick.
I would say this is very, very close because they're very, very good at different things.
Mm,
So I think this is a lot closer than.
yeah.
I mean, someone has to win, don't they? Right,
Yeah,
there you go.
I feel like
Eidolon gets
Eidolon's
his head
somewhat
cut off.
half done by, but
Yeah,
never mind.
I mean, essentially, if Remus Warlord trait wasn't fucking batshit crazy, he'd have,
Oh, he'd be golden.
yeah, he'd be dead. But he isn't. He
No.
marches on for McCrag. Here we go. Right, up next. Oh, Khan versus Dynat. So both have movement 7. Khan is weapon skill 7. Dynat is weapon skill 6. Both ballistic skill 5. Both strength and toughness 4. 3 wounds each. Initiative 5 each. 4 attacks each. Leadership 10. Invulnerable save at 4 plus. Khan is 175 points, but there's a little star there. I don't know why.
It'll be
Because
about
you
his
can
weapon.
also upgrade him to Gore
Oh, of course
Child.
you can.
So,
Yes.
which, let's be honest, you are.
You're gonna do, yes.
Yes.
And Armilius Dynat is 185 points. So weapons. Oh, he's written it here. Okay. So Khan obviously comes with the cutter, which is strength +1, AP 3, shred, rending 4 plus, murder strike 6 plus. But for 35 points, you can upgrade him to take Gorechild, which is strength +1, AP 2, specialist weapon, shred, armor bane, murderous 3 plus, and he also has a plasma pistol. So you just pay the 35 points. Armilius Dynat comes with the Prince, strength user, AP3, rending 6 plus. Oh, that's a bit meh. And he has the Prophet, which is strength 9, AP2, unwieldy. There it is. So special rules. Khan has Relentless, Master of the Legion, Rampage 3, Precision Strikes 4 plus, and Dynat has Master of the Legion, Relentless, and Precision Strikes 4 plus. So Khan's Warlord trait, no unit may declare a reaction against Khan or his unit.
Bananas.
Shit. And he gets an additional reaction in the movement phase. And Armilius Dynat's Warlord trait is pick 3 infantry Alpha Legion units before deployment and give them infiltrate, scout, or counterattack, which is also fucking great. And he too has an additional movement reaction.
Yeah, just to clarify, Khan's Warlord trait is you can't make a reaction against a charge made by
Yeah.
That's
him,
slightly different. Okay.
not any reaction. So
I was gonna
you basically
say,
can't Overwatch or
no.
Hold the line.
Hold the line.
So-
But if he moves towards you in the movement phase, you can move
You can run
away.
away,
Yeah.
or you can pop. You could pop your Alpha Legion smoke and mirrors and be gone.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, I think on the surface, I think they've both got both their
Sorry,
warlord
hang on.
traits.
There is
Oh,
one other thing here. So
oh,
Armilius Dynat may split his attacks between both weapons. If makes a single hit with the prince against a non-vehicle target, even if it doesn't wound, may make an additional attack with the prophet at initiative 1. So he can mix and match his attacks. Sorry, go on, mate.
I just think. I think both the warlord traits are very good. I think Dynats is super strong, one of the strongest warlord traits
Yeah.
out there, to be honest with
Yeah.
you. In this context, I don't know how much bearing it would have on stopping Khan from just absolutely removing Dynat's head from his shoulders at the first opportunity. I think again, you're going to give Khan Gorechild because unless you're playing a narrative slant
Yeah.
where he hasn't taken it up yet, but typically you're going to give him Gorechild, and even at 210 points, he's still good value. And then you're just going to remove Dynat's head from his shoulders before he gets to attack back, in my opinion.
Yeah, agreed. I mean, the only thing I would say about the rampage is you have to be outnumbered, don't you?
I
So
don't think it. I mean, I think he's hitting on threes, and then he's, any three up is a murderous strike.
yeah, and he obviously gets the World Eaters trait, anyways.
Yes.
Um, you know what? I don't know. Like in a fight, yeah, I give this to Khan every day of the week, but just being able to infiltrate 3 units, I think is fucking great.
Yeah.
Um, although it is 3 infantry Alpha Legion units. I mean, I have to give this to Khan on this one, to be honest, but
I do too,
I
personally.
don't think Armilius Dynat is a slouch by any means.
No, 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 no. I
Uh,
think he's one of the better characters.
Rob, thoughts, feelings as
Uh,
a disgusting Alpha Legion player?
yeah, so I think that if we were to rule out Khan having Gorechild, I think that
Okay,
Dynet would
yeah,
probably just win it because the cutter is a super lackluster weapon. Unlike,
yeah,
it's
but
interesting.
true, yeah,
Unlike Sigismund, he doesn't get challenge locked, or doesn't have to, he doesn't have to challenge.
yeah,
So that murderous strike and the precision strikes are going to be massively valuable in any combat, right?
Yeah.
And I understand that Dyna has precision strikes 4 up, but Khan is going to be going with his weapon is going to be going before Dyna in a combat. Um, it's interesting around the infantry like units. You pick 3 because like infiltrate and scout are massively useful, and in that way he's kind of like a very cheap version of Alfarius.
yes,
But I just think sometimes it's easier said than done because you kind of like, oh, what Alpha Legion units are you gonna like infiltrate? Well, lots of them already have infiltrate built in, like the headhunters and the
right, yeah,
and
fair one.
like so and so then you're kind of like, oh, okay, well, maybe I can take it on a squad of like rewards of trees and suzerain. Okay, well, they can't charge out of it. Like it's actually quite. It's not easy to use those infiltrates and scouts in ways that you think is going to be easier. I've found. I'm not saying it's impossible. He's good, but I just think on balance, like again, Khan is just going to win combat after combat after combat, and he's got additional movement reaction. You can't even Overwatch against him. Isn't that just like nuts? You just like
Yeah.
he have any unit that he comes into contact with. So yeah, I think on balance, I'd probably prefer Khan over Armilis Dynet, although um,
Yes.
Dynet does have his strengths. So yeah, I'm going to go for
Yeah,
Khan.
absolutely.
Yeah, Khan. Khan is gonna tear him to shreds, and not get shot doing it. So, what do we have here? Yep, Khan for the win. Again, if you're a filthy Alpha Legion player like Rob, let us know if you agree or disagree with that. Uh, and if you're a World Eaters player, then let us know how you love bathing in the skulls and blood of your opponents. So up next, oh, here we are.
This is the big
Titan
one.
versus
I'm
This
telling
is
you,
so difficult. This one,
this is
yeah.
the big
This is
Yeah.
one.
like, yeah.
So,
Right.
Coursewayne is movement 7, Typhon is movement 6. Coursewayne is weapon skill 7, Typhon is weapon skill 6. They are both ballistic skill 5, both strength and toughness 4, and wounds 4. Both initiative 5, both 4 attacks each, leadership 10. And then Coursewayne is 4 plus invulnerable save to shooting and a 3 plus invulnerable save in combat. And Typhon is just a flat 4 plus invulnerable save. And they are both 200 points each. Weapons, Typhon comes with Lacrimae, strength plus 2, AP2, two-handed flesh bane with reaping blow 1. And he has Death Cloud, which is strength 1, AP4, assault 1, template, poisoned 3 plus. Coursewayne comes with the Blade, strength plus 2, AP1, two-handed, mastercrafted, duelist edge 2, murderous
Julius Edge
strike
2,
4
that's
I
nuts. That's
know.
crazy. He's going initiative 7.
I
and he
know. It's
has a
bananas.
bolter and bolt pistol. That's fucking nuts, isn't it? That's like, well, I mean, at that stage, he's basically a Primarch, isn't he? He's a
Yeah.
pseudo.
Oh, and I mean, he's going before Alvarez, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, but Alfaris is a little bitch.
Is a
Uh,
Forest even a Primarch? Yeah. Mm.
Half of them.
Special rules. Typhon is relentless, Master of Legion, stubborn, bulky 2, shrouded 6 plus, and firing protocols 2. And Coursewayne is Master of Legion, relentless, and precision strikes 4 plus. So Typhon's Warlord trait. Any Death Guard within 6 inches adds +1 to the poisoned rule. So 3 plus becomes 2 plus, and may reroll Fleshbane. And he also gets an additional movement phase. Additional movement reaction in the movement phase. Pretty good, depending on what you're running in your Death Guard army. Warlord trait for Coursewayne. All Deathwing with line of sight to Coursewayne are +1 leadership, and he gets an additional reaction in the assault phase. So then the extra special super duper rules. Typhon, enemy charges always count as disordered. Fuck.
It's
And
because he's
he
so
has
smelly.
he has 2 psychic powers, one +1 to weapon skill and plus D3 attacks. And the second one is a large blast with Fleshbane and pinning. Fuck, that's. And Coursewayne is 4, like I've mentioned already, 4 plus invulnerable to shoot and 3 plus invulnerable in combat. And Deathwing so gets +1 to hit with his sword. Fuck, that's so fucking good.
This
Right.
one is so close to
Yes.
call. So it's not a given that Typhon is going to get his psychic powers off, but he is leadership 10, so he has, you know, an 80% chance of getting his
Yeah.
psychic powers off. I think it's safe to assume that he does. The one time he doesn't, though, however, he did. He got by.
He fucked.
Uh, he fucked. Um, so the other things to, I thought he also had, um, I thought he also came with rad grenades as standard, but clearly
He
he
does. I think he
doesn't.
does. I think he does. I think he does have
Yeah.
red grenades.
Interesting.
And if
Because
he, if he,
this is the
yeah,
thing that makes the difference. Because
yeah,
in theory, then he becomes strength 6,
yeah,
and Courseway becomes toughness 3. So all of Typhon's attacks are
Yes, he
instant death with
has.
flashbane. So he's wounding on 2s, and he can re-roll any failed to wound rolls. And he'll also be hitting Courseway on 4s as opposed to 5s. But Courseway will be hitting back on 3s because of the Deathwing rule. Obviously, if Typhon cocks it up and doesn't pass his psychic check, then Courseway is hitting him on 2s, and Typhon will have suffered perils of the warp as well. Um, I think this is almost because you are only you're. I think the buffs to the armies are pretty comparable. I think +1 leadership for Deathwing is good, but also so is +1 to poisoned and reroll flashbane is also really good as well. Um, I think this one is almost too close to call. I'm tempted. I don't. I can't pick a winner. And do you know what? I can't pick a winner, and I won't have beef with whatever the outcome is. I think I'd want
So,
to give it to Typhon,
oh, interesting.
but only just.
I would give this to Corswain, personally.
Ah,
Um,
I've got a special place in
purely,
my heart for Typhon though, because
yeah. I mean,
but
you're a
then again,
dirty Death Guard player now, aren't
I
you?
know, but for about ever since the Corsair mod was released, Tom from the Merchant Princelings has been saying I look like Corswain's but ahead. So I'm happy either way. So either way, I win, basically, is what I'm saying here.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's a very, very close one, but I would give this to Corswain, purely because no matter what happens, even if Typhon gets his psychic power off, Corswain is still hitting him first, and
Yeah, he's going first. That is true. Yeah.
In the
and
only in a
is
challenge,
gonna be
only in a
hitting him.
challenge.
Yeah.
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 Well, you're gonna offer a challenge, aren't you? You're
Yeah.
not gonna. Well, I guess it depends on the situation. But if you're in a him in a squad against Typhon in the squad, you're gonna want to issue a challenge, I would imagine.
Yeah.
Otherwise, in fact, I'm surprised he doesn't have a rule that
Similar
makes
to
him challenge.
Sigismund's.
Is that not a
Yeah.
thing with Deathwing? Do they not have to?
No, it's just +1 to hit with this.
Is it okay?
Yeah.
Interesting. Oh,
Marshal of the
interesting.
Crown might be
Right. Um.
yeah.
I think you can make arguments for this both
Yeah.
ways. And I think
I
this is,
agree.
for me, this is too close to call. Rob?
I think Corswain pips it.
Yeah,
Rob.
and I think it comes down to the initiative 7 and then the 3
Yeah.
up in Bun in close combat because I think
I
there's a
I
piece of
agree.
paper
Oh
between them,
yes.
and I think that those for me are probably the deciding factors.
Yeah.
So
Fine.
Corswain for me.
Yeah, I say Corswain, and the computer says Corswain. There you go.
I think that's absolutely fine. I
I
think you
Piece of
can
paper, right?
yeah.
um
I'm happy enough with that.
once again, let us know how you feel about this. If you're a dirty Death Guard player, firstly go have a shower, and then comment to see if you agree with us or not. I do like Corswain. Like
Yeah.
I like them both. Although Typhon is a little bit, well, he's basically the reason of the downfall of the Death Guard, so he's actually a bit of a dickhead.
Yeah, but he's fine.
He's fine.
He's fine.
Right, who do we have next? Okay, so Alvarex Malm versus Quinzar. So Quinzar is movement 8, Malm is 7, Quinzar is weapon skill 6, Malm is 5, Quinzar's ballistic skill 4, Malm is 5, and then they are both strength and toughness 4. Quinzar is wounds 4, Malm is wounds 3. Quinzar is initiative 6, Malm is initiative a measly 4. Quinzar has 5 attacks, Malm has 3. Quinzar is leadership 10 and is leadership 9. And Quinzar has a 4+ in vulnerable save and Malm does not. I just says invulnerable.
It just says none. Yeah, he's got none.
He has none. He's got no invulnerable save.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. However, Malm is 140 points and Quinzar is 220 points. So quite a big points difference. So weapons, Malm has Toledas, is strength user, AP3, mastercrafted, breaching 5+, and he has a bolt pistol. Quinzar has Tails of the Dragon, Ether, Strength +3, AP2, Unwieldy, Mastercrafted, or Strength +1, AP2, Precision Strike 3+, Mastercrafted. Special rules, Malm is Master of the Legion, and Quinzar is Master of the Legion, Relentless, Counterattack 2, Furious Charge 1, Bulky 2, and Stubborn.
He's got all the rules.
Traits. Yeah, it's basically, literally, yeah.
I'll have one of each, please, Gov.
Warlord traits, reroll reserve roll for any deep strike that he is part of. and he has a additional reaction in the movement phase. Quinzar, a single unit or group of units in reserve automatically pass their reserve roll, and he has an additional reaction in the assault phase. And then other rules: Maun. Any scatter targeted within 12 inches of his position removes 5 inches from the scatter, and he ignores the -1 leadership for night fighting. And Quinzar allows the Tartarus command squad to take power glaives and is equipped with a grenade harness. There you go. Thoughts and feelings on this one? I personally think it's fairly obvious that
I think this is an
Quinzar
obvious one.
will use
Yeah,
this.
I think he'll part the horse's hair and yeah, slice the raven's neck or whatever it is. And this is such an easy one. I think you can use either weapon profile as well, interestingly here, because there's lack of invulnerable save.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's huge, isn't it? Absolutely no
Yeah.
invulnerable save at all. Uh, yeah, yeah. I think it's fairly obvious, Quinzar. I mean, the only thing I would say is, the points difference, but
Yeah, absolutely. But I think in this context, it's an easy one. It's a rollover for Kunjal. He's in business. He's doing work.
Rob,
I agree.
thoughts?
But don't even need to discuss it. Quinzel wins.
Yeah, yeah. I think that's all we need to say. And yeah, Quinzar parts the horse's mane. There you go.
Yeah.
So up next we have Ortek Moore versus Sigismund. Oh, okay. So Ortek Moore is movement 6, Sigismund movement 7. Moore is weapon skill 6, Sigismund is weapon skill 7. Ortek Moore is ballistic skill 5, Sigismund is ballistic skill 4. And then they are both strength, tough, and wounds 4. They're both initiative 5, both 4 attacks each, both leadership 10. Ortek Moore has a 3+ invuln save, and Sigismund has a 4+ invuln save. Ortek Moore is 225 points, and Sigismund is 230 points. So weapons, Ortek Moore comes with Argonicus, strength +2, AP2, two-handed, reaping blow 2. He has a manipulator array, which is strength 6, AP2, unwieldy, shred, armor bane, precision strikes 3+, and he comes with a Volkite charger. I won't go through Sigismund's weapons or anything because we have literally done that a few minutes ago. So Ortek Moore's special rules is Relentless, Master of Legion, Fearless, Bulky 2, Battlesmith 3+. He has a Warlord trait that all units within 12 inches counters +1 for combat resolution, and he makes an additional reaction in assault phase. He gains 2 additional attacks for his bespoke manipulator array and has a Feel No Pain 5+, which is not too shabby.
He's no slouch, is he?
No.
Ortek Moore.
I'm amazed we
No.
don't see him more often, to be
I was
honest.
literally about to say that. I
Yeah.
was going to echo that sentiment exactly, Rob. I'm amazed that people don't take him.
And it's the fearless. I can't believe
Yeah,
it's
I
fearless.
was going to say, yeah.
What? That's
Three,
mad.
3 up, 5 up. The difficulty is with this is the fact that the 5 up Feel No Pain matters not a jot against the instant death of the Black
Yes,
Sword.
isn't it?
Yeah.
And that is the
Yeah,
problem.
Yeah,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
I have a nasty feeling that I think in terms of like Warlord traits really good, but like Ortek Moore's Warlord trait only comes into effect by the time that he's in combat with Sigismund and his unit. And by the time that Ortek Moore's heavy weaponry, and by that I mean physically heavy, like his manipulator array and Argonicus comes into effect, his head will already be rolling around on the floor, severed from his body.
I still think like Moore is good. Ortek Moore
He's
is very
good.
good.
Yeah,
But
he's
I
really
still
good.
am surprised by it's only 5 points more
Yeah.
for Sigismund, which I find fucking insane.
Mm-hmm.
Not just the fact that he's a dick kicker, but the fact that he makes Templar Brethren troops,
Yeah.
+2 charge move, sweeping advancement, like 5 points is you'd pay that just to get Templar Brethren if you want to run Templar Brethren as troops. I
Yeah.
guess the only thing is they're not scoring, are they? They are literally just there in the troops. But you're freeing
I
up.
mean, very quickly you can unlock.
Yeah,
Templar
exactly. You can
Assault,
unlock
right?
line. Yeah, because you just take
Right.
Templar Assault Right of War, and away you go.
Yeah.
So don't worry about it.
But
Autek more
yeah,
is good, but Sigismund is more good
yeah, I
in
have a
this particular
Sigismund
context.
for this one, but I am a big fan of Ortec Moore. Yeah, I like him a lot. I like it a
Yep.
lot.
Iron Hands players use him more, run like Pride of the Legion. So, like Iron Hands Terminators and Vets with Autek more leading them is something I would like to see. So,
Yeah,
get on
yeah.
it.
Rob, you agree?
I agree. It's interesting. All units within 12 inches count as a
Yeah.
+1 combat race. Like that,
Yeah.
yeah, like
Dreadnoughts as
dreadnoughts
well.
nearby would be like. So
Oh
he's like
shit! Yeah,
busy.
I didn't
He's
think
busy
about that.
fixing them, and then they got +1 combat res as well. So
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
yeah, so pretty good. He's
Uh,
better than I thought he would be. So
does the
yeah.
manipulator array count as a fuck? I can't think what it's called now. Does it boost his battlesmith? Do we know?
No, I don't think
No.
so. But
Okay.
he's Battlesmith 3
Yeah, I
anyway.
mean
So,
three
I
plus
mean,
is
like,
still
yeah.
pretty good, but yeah, I
Yeah.
didn't know if that
It doesn't
plays
count as a
into the
servo
dice.
arm.
Oh,
No.
that's interesting. Okay, interesting.
Um, cool. Well, yeah, let's see what the computer says. And computer obviously says fucking Sigismund. Boo, boo. Um, but I do like Ortec more. I have
Yeah,
to say, I
Yeah.
don't think I've
He's a
ever
top lad.
actually looked at his rules, but yeah, that is
I've never seen
pretty.
him on the tabletop, certainly.
No, yeah, that's pretty good. Cool. Right, up next we have the fan favorite Sevatar and the not so fan favorite Hull Redblade.
Yeah, no one's favourite Haval Redblade.
Unfortunately, or as he's better known, Fat Bastard from
Yeah.
oh, what was the film? What is it?
it's
Austin Powers.
Austin
Austin
Powers.
Powers.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
You nailed it.
If you're under the age of 30, you have no idea of that reference at all.
It's not even worth going and watching those
No,
films because
No,
they
it's
are
not.
terrible.
No.
They are
no,
terrible.
Yeah.
just accept the fact that he is
They
a
are
bastard.
and let's be fair here, of a time.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Couldn't
they
make
are.
them now. No way.
No,
No.
no. Thank fuck. Right. Okay. Um, so stats. Both are movement 7. Sevatar is weapon skill 7. Hull Redblade is weapon skill 6. They're both ballistic skill 5. Both strength and toughness 4. Sevatar has 3 wounds. Redblade has 4. Sevatar is initiative 6. Redblade is 5. Both 4 attacks. Both leadership 10. Both 4 plus in Van. Sevatar is 220 points and Hull Redblade is 210. Weapons. Sevatar comes with Knight's Whisper, which is +2 strength, AP2, two-handed, duelist edge 1, murderous strike 6+, mastercrafted, and he has a bolt pistol. Hull Redblade comes with Hearth Splitter, strength +2, AP2, armor bane, and he carries a heavy bolter.
Which is
Special-
a flex, to be fair.
Yeah, it's just come on. Special rules. Sevatar has Relentless, Master of Legion, Fear 2, and Precision Strike 4+. Fat Bastard has Master of Legion, Inexorable, Relentless, Counterattack 1, Fear 1, and Bulky 2. So Sevatar's Warlord trait. All Legion Cataphracti and Tartarus Terminators gain Deep Strike. If they Deep Strike in without Sevatar, they gain Preferred Enemy Everything for that turn. And he gains an additional reaction in the movement phase. And Hull Redblade, him and his unit gain Preferred Enemy Infantry, and he gains an additional reaction in the assault phase. And other rules. So Sevatar, sorry, I have to keep moving these boxes. Sevatar, if in a challenge with someone who is weapon skill 5 or above, all of Sevatar's attacks cause instant death. He has a psychic power against leadership 7 that gives him +1 weapon skill and attack. He's just such a shit kicker, isn't he? And Horror Blade, his extra rules are may give up to 3 infantry units, scouts special rule, and he comes equipped with a grenade harness. Thoughts on this one? I mean, I'm going to go straight off and say I give it to Sevatar every day of the week.
I think while Redblade's got quite a lot of utility, actually, more than like if you're running, say, like, you know, a Grey Slayer heavy army that wants to get into combat, like 3 units having scout is quite cool. And then Haval Redblood and his unit having preferred enemy infantry will help him in this context. I think again the difficulty is that by the time that these two guys come to blows, again Sevatar just he attacks first. He de bobbles Haval Redblade, and we move on.
Yeah, yeah, agreed. I mean, it's just everything adds up, doesn't it? I mean,
Hmm.
if you're in a challenge, you're causing instant death. You know,
Yeah,
if you get your psychic power off, your fucking weapon skill 8.
yeah, but he doesn't need, the thing
Like
is he doesn't need to
he
be.
doesn't need
That's the
to
thing
be,
is he doesn't
but
need to
it's
be weapon skill 8.
insane. Like that's
Yeah.
that's nuts. Uh, but I do also agree with you that yeah, Whole Red Blade is no slouch. Rob,
Mm,
thoughts?
Yeah, I wanna hate Haval Redblade because of the model. But
yeah.
actually
Yeah.
he's
Yeah.
actually pretty decent. You know, in many
Yeah.
ways he's kind of like a pseudo um like not a death swarm, but speakers of the dead or
Well, this
whatever
is the
they're
thing. You see,
called.
put him in with a Death Sworn unit because they have rad grenades,
Ah,
and
I
all of a
think
sudden,
they're
Haval Redblade
Interesting. Yeah.
becomes a bit of a pro murderer, in my opinion. You know, with
yeah.
preferred enemy and being strength 6 AP2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think like he's got lots to like.
Yeah.
And I really like as well that you can give 3 infantry units scout
Yeah.
and he doesn't have to be the warlord for that rule to
No.
kick in, which is pretty cool. I think one of the things that kind of is quite tricky for Night Lords players always is about deployment for Sevatar because he obviously has to be on the board in order for those units to gain because he doesn't
Yeah.
have deep strike himself. So in order to gain those things, so
Oh, okay.
that's
Yeah.
a that's a that's a like a mark against Sevatar. But as you say, I think that he's just going to go from combat to combat and win, and it's the fear two partly because he'll just be like, oh,
Yeah.
by the way, your leadership's at -2, so like
Yeah.
let's I've won and also I've swept you as well. So I think
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think on balance it has to go to Sevatar, but actually Haval Redblade is no slouch and actually is pretty decent, I think.
Yeah, don't hate him at all. Actually, do you know what? There's nothing. And interestingly as well, he's in. So when you had to put him with another unit, he's in Tartarus, even though he's got a 4 ups,
Yes,
like a
right. Yeah,
4
that's right.
Halo.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
I
Oh,
think
yeah,
him
yeah.
in a unit of Death Sworn and scout them forwards.
yeah,
I think he could be like
yeah,
genuinely like low key, pretty damn good. The problem
yeah,
is you don't see him because his model is absolute terrible.
yeah. It's not great.
Yeah, I mean, the main thing I hate about the model is the head. I think if you do a head swap, you're
Hmm.
90% of the way of making it not look
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think the
terrible.
main things that I hate are the head, legs, torso, arms, wolf pelt, cloak, and weapons.
Apart from that, it's got great
Other than
base.
that, you've got a phenomenal base, top tier base. If you're doing some Thousand Suns, it's got to be Sevatar,
Okay.
right?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
gotta be. Yeah, yeah. And
There we
computer
go.
says Sevatar. Uh, poor Red Blade.
Oh, my
Come on, God.
non-brave boy.
So up next we have Abaddon versus Golg. So they are both movement 6. Abaddon is weapon skill 7. Golg is weapon skill 6. They're both ballistic skill 5. They are both strength, toughness, and wounds 4. Both initiative 5. Both. Oh no, sorry. Golg is 4 attacks. Abaddon is 5 attacks. They're both leadership 10. Golg has a 4 plus in Vun. Abaddon has a 3 plus in Vun. Abaddon comes in at 250 points and Golg comes in at 175
Does
points.
Abaddon have a 3 up invulnerable
I
save?
don't think he does. It's just let me check this and continue as you
Yes.
were.
Hmm.
So, weapons. Abaddon comes with a power claw, which is strength times 2, AP2, unwieldy, specialist weapon, shred, mastercrafted. Also has a paragon blade and a bane strike combi bolter. Golg comes with extricator, which is basically a fancy chain fist, isn't it? Strength 10, AP2, melee, armor bane. Uh, it's armor bane melee, mastercrafted, unwieldy, and he has a combi melter. Special rules: Abaddon is relentless, Master of Legion, bulky 2, battle hardened 1, fearless, deep strike, precision strike 4 plus. Golg is Master of Legion, relentless, stubborn, bulky 2, hammer of wrath 2. Warlord traits. Abaddon is 4+, feel no pain for him and his unit in the movement and shooting phase of the turn they arrive, and he gains additional reaction in a movement phase. Golg is +1 to combat resolution for any combat within 12 inches and an additional reaction in the assault phase. And then extra bits. Abaddon has a grenade harness, and Golg has a Nuncio Vox and an augury scanner. So what's Abaddon's invulnerable save? Sorry,
It's a 4-up. It's not a
it's
3-up.
4-up. Okay,
Yeah.
I was going to say yeah. So they both have 4-up invulnerable save.
It's interesting because for 175 points, Golg is actually not too shabby.
Can I tell you the one
Um,
thing that really lets him down
Go on then. Go
is
on.
that a lot of, well, you're likely to want to take the Hammer of Olympia Rite of War, which means it necessitates you taking a Warsmith. And even though Golg
Right.
is a Warsmith, he doesn't count as a Warsmith for the purposes of requiring a Warsmith for Rite of War. Otherwise, I do
Yes.
genuinely think that you would see Golg a little bit more. He is not too shabby at all.
No.
He's got a lot going for him. It's just the problem is the fact that you have to take him plus another character.
Yeah, which you're unlikely to do that.
I know. Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting. It's interesting as well.
Pride of the
Like,
Legion with Golg, I think could be quite good fun.
yeah,
But
it's interesting. Like, he's got this weird combination of like equipment that you would give like a centurion who deals with like shooting, like an armistos, and then he's also like close. He's got a close combat warlord trait. He's in a bit of a weird place, I think, because you
yeah,
kind of be like, oh well, an augury scanner and a nuncio vox, I'll put him backfield. Oh, by the way, like your las cannons that you put him with also get +1 to combat res. He's kind of in a bit of a
Yeah,
weird place, I think.
yes,
Yeah.
I don't disagree with you. I mean, I would like put him in like a kind of a like a Terminator Command Squad, for instance, with some interesting combi weapons, and I think he could be quite fun.
Yeah.
And just being a Nuncio Vox, like he'd be a useful character to have in, say, an Iron Fire list, having those Voxes just to redirect
that's a good point. That's a good point.
those scatters. I think would be really really good. Oh man, I just fucking love Iron Warriors. They're just so good. Anyway,
The thing is, as well, he's essentially a Warsmith, but doesn't have Battlesmith.
yeah.
Yeah.
Which
Well, it's because he
again-
doesn't have a servo on.
Yeah. So again,
Doesn't have the
it's a bit
Warsmith
like-
upgrade. Yeah.
Yes.
No. Anyway,
Yeah.
Abaddon.
Yeah. I mean,
He's just really good, right? I mean, like,
Yeah.
he wins this, but I mean, I would say
I think
you know,
I think he only just wins this, to be honest
yeah,
with you.
and there's a 75 points difference here. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? It's you know,
it's interesting to me that you say that only just, because I would disagree. I think that so in a unit of Justarian, which is typically what you're going to do, you're going to find that people tank las cannon shots
Yeah.
on him,
Yep.
and then because of the battle hard one, and then in close combat, the strength 8 is not doubling him out, and he will still get that feel no pain, right? So
Yeah.
there are lots of things here where he
sorry.
makes.
Whoa,
Yeah,
whoa,
but
whoa, cheese
Golg's weapon strength 10.
cake. Yeah, he's strength 10.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Oh, sorry. If against each other, yeah, fine.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I think in normal circumstances that
Yeah,
Abaddon
absolutely. But this
gonna-
isn't normal circumstances, is it? This is not normal at all. I
course.
genuinely think that I think you could make a case for Golg. I think if you were to play this out 10 times, I think proportionally Abaddon would win more times than Golg, but it's not like Sigismund versus poor old anybody else where it's like 99 times out of 100. I think this is probably 60-40 in Abaddon's favor.
Yeah, I mean the biggest
I
thing
do-
here is the weapon skill difference again, isn't
Yeah,
it? Like,
correct.
he's
It is
5,
exactly
he's
that.
a killer.
Yeah.
But again, like I say, for the points difference, I think Golg is really fucking good.
I think he is very
Really?
good. I think you
Yeah.
you genuinely could make a case that this could be, bearing in mind that unless you put all your attacks into the Paragon Blade with Abaddon, and let's, for argument's sake, say you're both striking with your Power Claws, I think you could make a case for this being mutually assured destruction here.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Cool.
I think it's
That
got to go
said-
to Abaddon, but I think he shades
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, I think Abaddon. Rob, Abaddon,
yeah, Abaddon 100% for me.
and computer says Abaddon. Of course it does. But there you go.
Just wait for my
Golg
boy Forex to turn up, and then we'll
is-
redress that balance a little bit.
Fucking hell, that'd be nice, wouldn't it? But Golg is no slouch. I mean, I'll be honest, the main reason I never run Golg is more of a fluff point of view of he
Yeah,
kind of dies fairly early on, doesn't
he
he?
does, and he's not really anywhere interesting.
No, no. But yeah, cool. Okay, so up next we have Corfeiron versus Raldoron.
I like the fact
Okay.
that you've already selected the winner here, Lee, so
Oh
we haven't even
fuck!
got to bother doing this one.
Well, I there you go. I obviously missed one, but I feel like I'm all the ones to miss.
It was a foregone conclusion, wasn't
This
it?
this doesn't matter. Um, well, we'll go through the stats anyway. So Raldoron is movement 7, Corfeiron 6. Raldoron weapon skill 7, Corfeiron is weapon skill 5. Raldoron is ballistic skill 5, Corfeiron is 4. Oh, Raldoron is strength and toughness 4. Corfeiron is a weedy strength and toughness 3. Um, Ironically, Raldoron has 3 wounds and Corfeiron has 4 wounds. Initiative 5 for Raldoron, initiative 3 for Corfeiron. Raldoron has 4 attacks. Corfeiron has 3 base, but goes up to 4. Oh, he has 2 lightning claws. Does that not put him up to 5 attacks?
Not with Corferon.
Because he's just such a weedy
It's
human.
just such a
Um,
little bitch. I don't actually know, to be honest with you, but
no, I
it's
would.
a
Well,
pair
yeah.
of patriarch's claws, not lightning claws necessarily. So
Interesting. I would have guessed that would put him up by 2 attacks, but I
I
don't know
will.
off
I
the
will
top
check
of
for
my head.
everybody. I will check.
Leadership 10,
not that it
both.
matters because he's a
No.
bitch.
Invulnerable save. Raldoron has a 4+ invulnerable save, and Corfeiron has a 3+ against shooting and 5+ for all other phases. Raldoron comes in at 180 points and Corfeiron 125 points. So weapons. Corfeiron has a pair of Patriarch claws, strength user, you little bitch. AP2 melee does have shred, but he is strength 3. Digiflamer, strength 4 AP dash template, pistol 1. Raldoron has the Encarmine Warblade, strength +1, AP2, Mastercrafted, Shred, Murder Strike 5+, and he has a Combi Flamer and Bolt Pistol. Special rules. Corfeiron is relentless, Master of Legion, bulky 2, 5+ feel no pain, but you are only toughness 3. Um, ITND, what the fuck is that? Is
I
that meant to
assumed
be it
it
will
would.
not die?
Yeah.
Yeah, it will be.
Okay,
Yeah, yeah.
it will not die. 5+, and he is corrupted. Um, Raldoron is Master of Legion, Relentless, and Furious Charge 2. Warlord traits. Corfeiron. Each turn, pick between 1. At start of Corfeiron's turn, all enemies within 12 inches take a pinning check, or you can choose Corfeiron and his unit become fearless, but all models in the unit, other than Corfeiron, are -1 weapon skill and ballistic skill, which is quite a huge negative impact. And he
Yeah, but
has a... Go on, sorry.
yeah, but like every unit at the start of Corferon's turn, all enemy units within 12 inches take a pinning check. That's wild.
Yeah, that is good. Yeah. And he has an additional reaction in the assault phase. So Raldoron may select any generic or loyalist Legion Warlord trait, and it doesn't have to be Solar Marshal, which is pretty good. And then Raldoron has no other extra special super duper rules, but Corfeiron does. So he is -1 leadership and gains hatred everything if he or Lorgar are not Warlord. However, if Lorgar is Warlord and both are in the same unit, both he and Lorgar are +1 weapon skill and gain hatred. So I feel like this is pretty much the only time you are ever going to take Corfeiron is if you want to run Lorgar,
Mm,
especially Lorgar Transfigured, and then you slap Corfeiron in, and now he's +1 weapon skill and gains hatred. That is pretty fucking huge for Lorgar.
yeah.
But if you're not running Lorgar, then this guy is just a little bit of a bitch, which is kind of how he is
The,
in the books. So
yeah, his warlord trait is pretty bananas, but are you going to want to make this absolute weed your warlord?
your warlord. Yeah, I mean that's the
Yeah.
trial, isn't it?
It's the
He
toughness
is.
three because the fact that
Yeah,
like there's loads of stuff out there that has precision strikes and precision shots with strength six,
yeah,
so you can just
yeah.
pick him out of a lineup and just be like, bam, Warlord's dead, mate, because he's a
Yeah.
frail old man.
Yeah, essentially that. Yeah. Rob, thoughts?
Yeah, I quite like Corferon. I think that he's got
All
some
right, God.
interesting rules. And I definitely think you wouldn't want to get him into close combat though.
No.
Um,
No.
and I assume that he has a number of summoning abilities that we haven't gone through here, which I think can
Oh, you
make
know what? I don't honestly know off the top of my head.
which I think could make quite an interesting list. Let's just assume it is, but someone can correct us in the comments. I think the flexibility it astounds me that he's weapon skill 7 and then he has furious charge 2. So what is his weapon? It's going at strength 7 on the charge as well,
Yeah.
which is just is absolutely loopy. And
And he
then
can
being
obviously
able
be
to
strength. He can be weapon skill 8 if you take Solo Marshal as well.
Exactly right. So I think that like his close combat prowess is pretty impressive, but also you can choose a warlord trait and build around a warlord trait. I mean that's the
Yeah.
critical thing here, which is that you can just go, well, I like this warlord trait that the Space Wolves have, and I'm going to build
Hmm.
my army around this, right? So I
Yeah.
think it gives
You
some
can take Haval
flexibility.
Red Blades and give 3 units
No,
scout,
you
for
can't
instance.
take a unique
Oh,
characters, unfortunately. Unfortunately, I can't. I
God.
literally was just like, why is nobody taking Remus Ventanis this one? And it says in the
Yeah.
last sentence, like,
Ah,
you may not take a unique person's water trait. So, yeah,
boom.
I think it would have to go to Raldoron just because of the flexibility.
Hmm.
But the one thing I would say, and again, this is a mark against Raldoron, I think, is that most of the builds that you see for Blood Angels are like deep striking Day of Revs, and he doesn't have a jump pack or the ability to take a jump pack. So
No.
you're kind of you're kind of in a bit of a weird one, which is like, what do? You put him in a Spartan, put him in a Land Raider command squad. Like it doesn't, it just doesn't. He doesn't synergize well, I think, with the way that Blood Angels might want to play, with the
Yeah.
exception of Day of Sorrows, and I think that he probably does
Yes.
synergize quite well in that Riot of War.
I agree. But then you've got to paint absolutely bloody loads of the Terminators. What the hell are they called? You know, the red
Yeah,
ones.
I know what you mean. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. God. Never again. Um. Yeah. Sorry, Corferon, but you
Sorry,
are
not
out
sorry.
of here.
Can you
Yeah.
take
Yeah.
demons, Lee? Can you take
No,
demons?
so this is
Oh,
literally these are his
interesting.
rules, yeah.
Oh,
And
right.
actually it does say that the Patriarch's claws are two separate weapons, so it's
Yeah,
not like they're not lightning claws, so you do
yeah.
only get
Mm.
one extra attack.
You've blown my
Yeah.
mind. You can't take demons. Only Erebus and Lorgar can take
Yeah,
demons.
no, he's got
Christ.
no
Yep.
kind of summoning or anything. Yeah, no,
Well,
Wow.
he's
look at
just a
him.
little
He hasn't got
bitchy
the
old man who's
capabilities.
running away in a fucking spaceship, isn't he? Getting chased by
Yeah.
Yeah, fair play,
Ultraman.
fair play, fair play.
Um,
Yeah.
I generally think, I honestly believe that the only time you would take Corfeiron is if you're taking Lorgar.
Right.
I just think there's better things out there
Yeah, I think it's changed my
for
opinion now
for
that
what he
I know
does.
that you can't
Yeah.
take demons with him. I had assumed that
Um,
you could. So yeah.
but as we
Cool.
already know, Raldoron wins this
Yeah.
one, and Corfeiron is fucking murdered like the
It's
little
gone.
dusty old man that he is. Cool. So that is it. Round two. Um, there you go. We've some obvious ones gone, some very, very close ones
Yeah.
gone. So up next for round two, we have Ramus Ventanas versus Khan, Corswain versus Kunzar, Sigismund versus Sevatar, ooh, and Abaddon versus Raldoron.
This is
Um,
spicy now.
yeah,
This
this
is
is where it gets
spicy.
very interesting. Right, should we get straight into it?
Hmm.
Let's do it.
Round two.
Okay, so up first is Khan versus Ramus Ventanas. So, there's no real need to go through all of the rules again for each of them. Uh, so I guess we just kind of go straight into thoughts and opinions. How are we feeling about this?
I want.
Do we think Ramus Ventanas Warlord trait outperforms Khan's just ability to fucking murder everything? What we thinking?
I.
Nothing.
Yes,
Oh. I.
basically. Because
Oh.
like Khan, yeah, so for me, it does. because it's such a force multiplier that Khan can hit into a 20-man despoiler squad. Sure, he'll kill a lot of them, but he won't kill all of them. And that unit is sitting on objective and it's essentially fearless and is now
Yeah, but he's going to have a 20-man despoiler squad, and they'll just do their own murdering because they've all got chain axes.
I don't think you'd kill a whole
Oh,
unit. I don't think you'd kill a whole
I
unit.
think I think you are sticking up for your boy a little bit too much, to be honest with you, Rob. And I don't like it.
I cannot express to you just how just the fact that they are fearless, they can't be pinned, they're always going to pass morale checks. You don't need to even
I don't
I think
disagree.
it's just so good.
I don't disagree. It's brilliant, but at the same time, he is a little slug, and I don't like him. And I'd like Khan just to roll in there and absolutely do him, which he
Well,
would.
yeah.
I think Ramus Ventanas is going to be one of the last people standing purely based off his warlord trait.
Yeah.
I think I agree with Rob. I think Khan is an absolute murderer, and you can put him in a unit of murderers, but your opponent knows he's a murderer who's in a unit of murderers. So they're going to do everything in their power
Yeah, stay away
to either shoot the fuck out of it or stay away from it. And they'll, if you're playing Ultramarines and you have Ventanas, then they'll be fearless doing it.
Yeah, that's it. That's it, innit? Yeah, that is it. Come on.
I mean, the one thing I will say is I mean, this doesn't affect pinning, does it? So you
No.
can still pin the
No, you
fuck out
can't
of-
pin it. No, because they've passed all leadership and morale checks. So you just pass them all.
So you just pass. Okay, yeah.
It's just that you are unaffected as long as one model is within 3 inches of an objective. You just like there's nothing. I won't be taking any.
Yeah.
checks.
So the only thing I've played this roughly against is Rob puts a Herald in a 15-man tack squad. And it is the fucking bane of your life to try and remove
Yeah.
a 15-man tack squad that's fearless is fucking horrific. Because obviously you literally have to kill them to a man.
To the man.
So when you have an army that is essentially doing that, it is just gonna be fucking insanity. So for me, and it kills me a little bit to say this, but I would pick Ventanas over Khan for this purely off his warlord trait. Based on being just fucking awesome and an absolute murderer and a dick kicker and like one of the best characters in the Heresy, like Khan all day long.
The other thing as well is that the Khan model is so much older than that Remus Ventanas model,
but
the
it's
Khan model
400 times better.
Fucking great,
holds up,
doesn't
doesn't
and
it? Like that angle.
He was a
the
chunky boy back in the day, so
Yeah.
size-wise, it's not. But I mean, this is like the most ultramarine victory, isn't it? He's not winning because he's a fucking murderer.
He's winning because he's got fucking flag.
Yeah,
That's what he's got. He's got a
Perfect.
banner.
Literally.
perfect.
hate
I love
it
banners.
so
Can't get
much.
enough of it.
So yeah,
Don't play
I'm
this game
saying-
anymore.
Oh, fucking... I'm going with Ventanas. Rob, I take it you are.
Of course.
John, I presume you're
No.
just sitting out of this one.
Going Khan, I'm sticking up for my boy.
And the computer says you're wrong. And the Ultramarines win the most Ultramarines victory ever by planting a flag in the ground.
By not even playing the game.
By not even playing the game.
Perfect.
There you go. Sorry, Khan. Oh, this does sting a
God.
little. I wouldn't say this stings a little bit. This stings a lot.
Such.
I would like to say that in the
Stupid.
books, Khan would just fucking murder everyone and then
Yeah.
just piss all over their skulls.
He wouldn't
And
even
their
notice who
flags.
Remus
And their
was.
flags.
It
No.
would just be
Remus
an
would just
additional
be
little.
a
yeah.
passage in the book.
No,
of,
it wouldn't be
of
that, mate.
having
Just
a
be
chain axe embedded in his skull.
an extra digit on the end of his kill counter. That's all it is to Khan.
Literally. And Khan
Right.
saw a dickhead with a flag and murdered him, and then he moved
Yeah.
on. Right, so up next, ooh,
This is spicy.
Swain versus Quinzar.
It's Swain. I think, to be honest with you, I can't see a way that it's not. So at initiative, let's say they're going at initiative, so that Kunjar can part the horse's hair, um, split the mammoth, or whatever he's doing, then Courseman's still going first. He's still hitting him on twos.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I think again, I just feel like Quinjar's initiative 6 on his profile, but the blade has duelist edge. So yeah, Courseway has taken his head off before he even gets the chance to attack back, in my opinion.
I agree.
I think they're both good characters. Quinjar is 20 points more.
That's what I was going to say. Yeah, Quinzar is more expensive. What do we think? Oh, excuse me, about warlord trait differences. I think Quinzar's is fine if you're using that.
Hmm.
If you're
But
planning
Courseway's is
on
better.
reserves coming in, but
Yeah.
+1 leadership is also great. So I don't
Yep.
think there's a huge
No.
difference between the warlord traits depending on how you're running your army. So yeah, I would give this to Core Swain. Plus he's cheaper, 20
Absolutely.
points cheaper.
Yeah. This is a clear one for
And
me.
Quinzar
Rob.
is
Yeah, I agree. I think
yeah.
it comes. It's their ability to affect their armies overall. I think is pretty met on both sides. You know, yeah, it's fine.
yeah.
But I think it comes down to then the close combat ability, and I think Coursewayne just has it. I mean, he's an absolute beast, Quinzar, um, and but I just again with Coursewayne, it just comes down to that initiative.
Yeah.
Sorry, not even the initiative. It's the duelist edge
Yep.
and the
Murder
three up
strike
in
4 up.
it and the 3 up invuln in close combat
Yep.
like that is it's always those things for him. They're just like just one better than everybody else that really makes the difference.
And he's hitting on twos and his master crafting.
Yes, that's
So
true.
he's going to
He
hit
is
with
hitting
all
on
of his
twos.
attacks.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
just, and
very
you know,
reliable.
I don't think Quinjar will have any opportunity to split the horse's hoof before he's.
Slap the servitor's ass, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Got it.
Cool. So are we all saying Coursewayne?
Coursewayne.
Yeah.
And Coursewayne wins. Of course he does. There you go. Yeah. Oh, Coursewayne's such a cool character. I do like
I know
him.
he is. He is an absolute top lad.
Okay. So up next.
Oh.
No. Sevatar versus Sigismund.
There's a really good producer note here because Kerry actually rolled. He actually had to. He actually did some tests.
Oh yeah, he
some
did.
quantitative
Yeah.
testing on this one.
So the producer's note: I rolled this fight out 30 times. If Sevatar got his psychic power 19 times out of 30, he won 11 out of 19 times.
That's
If he
interesting, isn't it?
failed, then Sigismund won 10 out of 11 times, including once where Sev perils himself to death before Sigismund got to it.
Okay, so it really comes down to can Sevatar make the leadership on a 7, and
Yeah.
then he can just about win most of the time. Or sorry, not the majority of the time, but it's pretty
Yeah.
tight either way. But it is you are relying
Yeah.
on that leadership 7. So for me, I think just because
It's Siggy's,
it's
unfortunately.
Sigismund because of the reliability, but also because of the
Yeah.
fearless as well. I think.
Yeah. And also the fact of the matter is that
yeah.
Sevatar's not immune to the instant. Like the thing that makes Sevatar so
Yeah.
insane is the instant death attacks in a challenge, and
Yeah.
obviously
Yeah.
having Eternal
He
Warrior.
doesn't care, does he? He doesn't care
Doesn't
about them.
matter.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, just I think it's interesting that Kerry rolled it out and actually it was closer than I thought. But actually,
Yeah, me
6-1
too,
on
yeah.
10 out of 11 times. Like if you just can't get it off.
Yeah.
So yeah, interesting.
It's
Yeah. Unfortunately, we're all saying Sigismund wins.
we've got to give this to
one.
Old Yeller.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh god, this pains me. This cuts me
I know.
deep, I have to say. And yeah, Sigismund wins this one.
You two are such traitors at hearts, aren't you?
Yeah, but
Like, cut you in
Yeah.
Sevatar,
bleed,
like
traitor.
Sigismund's such a little bitch. Like, yeah, he's a dick kicker. He is, like he's
He's
a
a cool
murderer.
character, but we're all
Oh, he
bored of
cries
him.
because Daddy doesn't love him, and Sevatar
Yeah.
doesn't. Sevatar's dad literally hates him, and he doesn't give a fuck. He's like, "Fuck Daddy, I'm going out and just murdering shit." Ah, he's such a cool character. Like literally, if you don't think Sevatar is one of the best characters in the Heresy,
Something's
just
probably
go
wrong with
have
you,
a
isn't there?
word with
Yeah.
yourself because
Go
he
and
is
reread it
fucking
all.
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, Sigismund is a bit of a dick kicker. Okay, so Abaddon versus Raldaron.
This is hard to call. This
Yeah.
is tough to call.
So I thought you guys were um it surprised me how on the side of Golg that you were in comparison to this because I've been on the
Yeah, but
receiving end
we're just Iron
Iron
Warriors,
Warriors
aren't we?
through
Yeah,
and
I think
through.
we're blinded by our love of Iron
I
Warriors.
think so.
If
I
I'm
just think
totally honest.
that the battle hardened on the like for the shooting
Yeah.
combined then with the -1 strength in the close combat just makes Abaddon so survivable, and the fact he then gets a 4-up on that move,
Yeah, he does get his feel no
it's just
pain
The feel
for
no
the
pain
first. Well,
is
it's only the shooting phase. It's not the. It's
shooting
not
and
Oh,
in
movement and
combat.
shooting, movement and
Yeah,
shooting.
yeah.
Yeah,
So on the intercepts, yeah, but
yeah,
that
yeah.
that so you are right, but on it. So let's just say there's an apothecary in the unit. He would still not necessarily
Yeah.
against him, but against strength 8 or above, he would still get a feel no pain because he's reducing the strength of weapons by 1. So
By one.
and
Yeah, that is
that is a big
true.
one. That's a big one, I think.
Yeah.
I
I
think.
think also Raldoron's 70 points cheaper. 70
Whoa.
points is a
Yeah,
lot of
Yeah,
I
points.
that's
think what is
huge.
quite clear to me as well with this is that Sigismund needs to be 250 points. Why on earth
Easily.
Abaddon
Yeah.
and a different points cost? I have no idea.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, I agree with that.
Sigismund should be 275, 280 in my opinion, and he'd still be good at that. Like you would still,
yeah,
he's immensely undercosted. I think, but look at it. Like let's assume that you are going to take Solar Marshal because you are likely to take Solar Marshal and Raldoron. Abaddon is going to be hitting on fives.
is Abaddon weapon skill 6? I'm not sure he is weapon skill
No,
6.
Solar Skill
Abaddon's
7.
weapon skill 7.
Yeah, I was going to say. Yeah.
Yeah. Like if Raldoron ends up being weapon skill 8, for instance, then Abaddon is hitting on fives, whereas he's
Yeah.
being like Raldoron is hitting on threes. He has got Murderous Strike as well,
Yeah.
and he's Mastercrafted. So there is, and Carmine Warblade has got a potential just to be like, I don't care, like I don't care about your battle hardened. I don't care about any feel no pains. I'm going straight through you. I'm tempted to give this to Big Ral, in my opinion.
Oh,
I think
interesting. Interesting.
I think his Warlord trait is obviously phenomenal because you can choose whatever you like. So that's legitimately phenomenal. He's 70 points less. He's do you know, I can just see him. I can see him doing it.
Interesting. Interesting. Rob, thoughts?
So Abaddon, for me, the Fearless is just worth its weight in gold. So few units are actually Fearless now.
Doesn't matter if you're dead though, does it?
No, I guess not. But I think that like
If you're
battle hardened,
with a
Fearless,
4+ feel no pain in the shooting phase, you're making yourself survivable, aren't you?
so survivable. And I think I understand, and actually I think again there's a piece of paper between these two, but I'd probably just give it to Abaddon. Yeah, I think it's interesting. His power clause.
I'm going to respectfully,
Shred
I'm
as
going
well.
to respectfully disagree with you there. Actually, I would give this to Raldoron for, I think in single combat, I
Yeah.
think Raldoron has a potential to be better. I also think that his, the ability to take additional Warlord traits is really good.
Yeah.
He's got
That's
some
the
good
thing for me.
USRs, and he's 70 points cheaper.
Yeah. 70 points, yeah, because you could buy like
70 points is a lot of points.
whole Master of Signals for that, or almost a whole
Yeah.
Master of Signals, can't you? Yeah.
Yeah.
Buy a whole
You can buy
set.
half a command squad for him.
I honestly don't know on this one. I'm going to say I honestly don't know. I think there are arguments
For and
for
against.
and against
Yeah, well, we've just made them, so obviously there are.
on both halves. Yeah. So I'm going to go. I don't know. I honestly don't know. My gut says Abaddon. My heart says Raldoron.
Yeah, that's my head says Abaddon, my heart says Raldoron as well.
Okay, let's have a look then.
I'm going to go
Go
with
on.
Ralderon on this one.
Okay, well, I'm going with Abaddon.
Purely because of the Warlord trait.
Who won?
Ah, bullshit.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me.
Gary
I
probably
can
rolled it like 30 times,
understand.
so.
I think this is fine, to be honest with you. Like I'm not as pissed off about this as I was about Remus and Khan, because I think that's just bananas. But yeah, this is fine.
Cool. Abaddon is victorious. Oh,
The
crikey.
fact that
We have
Remus Ventanas
double.
is in this final four just
I
sickens me to
know.
the very pit of my
There's going to
stomach.
be a
Bloody
lot
great.
of comments, I think. So up next we have Remus Ventanus versus Corswain, and we have Sigismund versus Abaddon. Oh, we're getting close to the final showdown.
Round 3.
Up first, Remus versus Corswain. So, do
Go
we
on, Rob.
think Remus Warlord trait is better than Corswain being an absolute fucking murderer and buffing Deathwing?
Yeah. So I think for me, if if we let Remus through against Khan, we're gonna I would say that we'd probably, for me, Remus again provides more than Corswain does across the army. However, yeah, +1 leadership is actually pretty good though, isn't it? I wonder, is it capped as well at like leadership 10, or
Oh,
is it
that's
just
what I
like
was wondering. Yeah, no,
interesting?
I don't know.
I'm gonna look this up.
Okay.
I can see a piece of paper between these two. One is an absolute close combat monster and does buff an army with his +1 leadership. One buffs an army and is in no way, shape, or form a close combat monster. So yeah, piece of paper. As John said
Look,
before, I wouldn't hate either one of these losing, but
I would. I really would. I would genuinely hate it if Corswain doesn't go through here. I'm done. I'm literally
signing
I'm
out of
done,
Zoom.
mate. Yeah, this is it. I'm off.
I'm going to say Corswain on this one, but I think it is very close, purely based off the fact that Remus carries a flag. That is literally his warlord trait is the only thing that has kept
Yeah.
him in this far. And I'm sorry, I can't let it go on any
It's a
longer.
shit
Can't let the
model. It's a
madness
shit
go
flag.
on any longer. Corswain chops his fucking head off
Yeah.
and then buries his silly little banner in a
hmm
unmarked
Bye.
grave somewhere. What was the outcome of the +1 leadership?
It's to a maximum of 10.
And what are Deathwing anyways? Are they not?
They're like the sword
Largely
guys.
nines.
Yeah,
Yeah, but
okay.
no, but also you can give any Dark Angel
Yeah,
Deathwing
any-
if you
Oh,
wanted
of course.
to.
Sorry.
So
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah.
so in theory he could buff an entire army, just like
Yeah.
Remus. Like
Okay.
Corswain wins this one. Let's just not even
Yeah.
debate it anymore.
I am going with
Come on then,
Corswain.
let's see it. Do-do-do.
Yay!
Nonsense.
Fuck you,
It's a-
Ultramarines.
It's a farce.
Oh,
It's a farce, this.
Christ.
Thank God for that. Although I guess he's still going to be fighting for third place, isn't he? He's not
Yeah, he's going to have to be. Yeah, I
completely
think
out
so.
of the fight yet.
Yep.
So we may see him again. And Abaddon versus Sigismund. So this time I am going to go with Sigismund.
Sigismund for
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, they looked for each other on the Fields of Terror, and as we know from the lore, if you've read the Black Legion books, Abaddon goes and finds Sigismund, knocks him spark out.
oh, really? I have not read this.
That's
There you
true.
go.
Yeah.
Ah,
Yep.
That's true.
Yeah, it's a particularly wonderfully written paragraph or chapter in the book where Abaddon confronts
absolutely
Sigismund.
bangs him.
Yeah,
Okay.
great
Well,
books, by the way. If
unfortunately,
you want to read something that isn't heresy and you've not read the Black Legion trilogy, then go and do that.
There's only two of them so far, though. They haven't done a
Oh,
third
two.
book yet.
Yes, of course.
Mm.
Yes,
Makes it
apologies.
sad.
I get
It's
that
been
confused
years.
with
It's
the
been
Night Lords.
years since that second
Yeah.
book dropped.
so we're all saying Sigismund.
Yeah.
Yep.
Boo! There he is. Sigismund beats Abaddon.
I know what's coming as well.
Yeah.
This is so
We
annoying.
all know what's coming. Third place playoff. Abaddon
No one cares.
versus Remus Ventanus, and the grand final. Sigismund versus Corswain. Ah, for fuck's sake. So, for third place, Banner Boy versus Abaddon. What are we saying?
Abaddon.
Mm, Ventanas.
Lee.
I don't know. I don't
Oh,
know. Oh, it's got to be fucking Ventanas, doesn't it?
Ah,
He's like
such a slug, Lee.
the thing is, I have to say this is easier for me because I don't particularly like Abaddon in the books. Like as a character, I think he's a bit of a fucking cock. So, uh, although I don't remember reading about Ventanas, is he in the
He's
Calf?
in the No Fear books, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. The
And I
ones that
seem
everyone
to
avoids
remember
because
him
they're
in.
so boring.
Nonsense. Nonsense. It's crazy.
I'm going Ventanas.
There
And
you
it's
go.
Ventanas coming in at third place. There you go.
Absolutely
Let us know
despicable.
your thoughts on this. Do you agree, disagree? Are you like shouting at your screen going, fucking bullshit, Ultramarines banner boy can fuck off? Let
It
us
is
know
bullshit. And
your
Ultramarine Banner Boy
thoughts.
can fuck off. Like it's not.
Let us know your opinions on that
Yeah.
one. And then for first and second place, what are we saying?
Finish him!
Sigismund,
Yeah, it's got
Corswain,
so Sigismund because of the Fearless and the
gotta be
Eternal
Eternal
Warrior.
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 Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Kerry's
It's the Eternal. Yeah.
Kerry's rolled it out though,
Oh,
hasn't
here
he?
we go.
Yeah.
Producers note rolled this fight out 20 times. Sigismund won 19.
90, yeah.
11 of them in one round of combat, but got dropped to one wound 5 times. The only
Yeah.
time Corswain won was when Sigismund missed with all 8
No.
of his attacks.
That's
Fucking
what happened when rolling
Jesus.
20 times. That's crazy.
There you go. I mean, that is, you know,
Flawless victory.
be Sigismund,
Yeah.
isn't it? And
It's,
it is.
it's so frustrating, isn't it?
At 230, I think that we've seen. I think one of the big things that I've noticed in just this episode is that like they are wildly miscosted. Some of these
Yeah.
first
Yeah.
captains. I mean,
Yes.
Ventanas coming third place essentially, and then being only 175 points is just
Yeah.
an absolute bargain. And
I mean, they've essentially gone off his fighting ability and
Yeah.
not thought
Yeah.
just how powerful
that
his
Warlord
warlord
trait
trait is.
yeah,
And then you look at Abaddon, that's 250 points. You're like, fuck.
yeah.
Yeah.
There we go. The winners and final thoughts. How different would this have been if every first captain had Eternal Warrior or Sigismund didn't have it?
Whoa. Yeah, interesting. I think Eternal Warrior did a lot for Sigismund in lots of their fights,
Yeah.
and it was the first fight. Was it Typhon versus Sigismund?
Yes.
Was it?
Yeah.
Typhon,
No,
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 Typhon
no. It
Corswain.
wasn't Typhon Corswain. Yeah, that I think that yeah that would have been interesting. And then Raitan
Sigismund versus Sevatar.
and yeah, oh yeah, that I mean that was a massive one. And then Raitan
Yeah.
versus Sigismund. Even in that first one, like the Eternal Warrior, I think had a massive part to play.
It's not just that; it's the combination about not being able to be instant killed and then all your attacks having instant death.
Yes, yes, it's
Yeah.
lethal. It is a lethal
Yeah.
combination. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
Okay, interesting.
The one thing that you can do to nerf this guy though is if you send him into a unit where they've all got chosen warriors, and you can just
take
keep
it.
him tied up. You can just
Oh,
feed him
yeah.
like a unit of veterans, for instance. You can just feed him a guy every turn. So there are ways around him, but at the same time, if he gets into combat with any of your characters that is non-primate level, he's just going to take them apart in
he's a
swift
murderer.
order. I genuinely think like it would have been Corswain Sevatar final had Sigismund not have Eternal Warrior.
Interesting. Yeah. 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 Oh, it just pains me seeing the
I
fucking
know this guy
Ventanas
again.
sat there, and he's literally there
Oh,
because of
I
his
know.
partner.
Yeah.
Well, let us know your thoughts. Let us know your feelings. I'm sure there are going to be lots of people who disagree with this, but this is the joy of the hobby, isn't it? This is
Well, and it's
Oh,
okay
yeah.
for people to disagree with us,
Yeah.
like, but,
Yeah, yeah.
but just please,
yeah.
please just keep the abuse, like, not like, oh my God, you guys are like idiots. Just,
I mean, we are, but just don't tell us.
Yeah.
just it's cool. We can agree to disagree. It's okay, guys.
You don't have to get too excited. Just
No.
tell us
No.
why you
Just be
disagree.
kind.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. Everyone be
Yeah.
kind.
Keep it constructive.
Yes.
Yeah. In all seriousness, just tell us why you disagree or agree. I imagine Ventanus will be a hot topic amongst
Yeah.
a lot of people,
100%.
As he should.
as he should. The fucking worm. But there you go. Yeah, interesting. Yeah, I think I said from the start I hadn't actually looked at who won this, uh, but I had a feeling Sigismund would be at the top, if not close to the top. Um, Although, how do we feel about his model? Do you feel like that's aged a
It's
bit
just
now?
it's dated. Yeah, it's really dated.
Yeah.
Small, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not as
I
bad
mean,
as
it's still a
Remus's though,
cool
so
model.
Yeah, Remus is I always think of Remus Ventalis when I think of the model. I actually think of the one that Mars from
Yeah.
Little
Yeah.
Legend painted that the Fenripian Forge did, where he's
Mm.
like holding
Oh,
it
okay.
and then he's like stabbing it into the word bearer. I always think like
Right.
that's actually like my perfect Remus Ventalis model, that one.
Interesting. Yeah. 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 Cool. Well, there you go. I hope you enjoyed that. And please do let us know your thoughts. Let us know why you agree or disagree. And like we say, just just chill, just woosah,
Look,
just our
there are
opinions.
the world's a bad place at the moment. We don't want to make it any worse.
Yeah.
So yeah, that is it. Final shout out to our sponsors. So Battle Bling, go check them out, battleblingstore.co.uk, and they are on Instagram at Battlebling Store and Facebook, Battle Bling. They produce loads of 3D printed bits for Adeptus Titanicus, Legions Imperialis, 28mm Age of Darkness. Go check them out, and if you use the code Heresy Hammer, you get 10% off. What's not more to like? And Bits Monsters, if you need parts of a kit rather than the whole kit, go check them out. www.bitsmonster.com, at bits.monster on Instagram, and bits.monster on Facebook. Free shipping in the UK over £25. And again, if you use the code Heresy Hammer, you get 10% off all Heresy items. And if the rumours are true about a new edition, they might have box sets that they'll be splitting up. We will have to wait and see. And then shout out to Curtain Games, down in the deepest, darkest depths where John lives. Curtaingames.co.uk, at Curtain Games on Instagram, and Curtain Games on Facebook. If you want any Heresy goodness, 40k goodness, anything, go check them out.
Yeah,
And they
do it.
also run Heresy events. So if you're in that area and looking to go to an event, or if you're not in that area but you love fucking traveling, go check them out. And that is it. Oh, and a shout
No, it's
out
not.
to that is not it. No, Heresy
No.
Hammer
Yeah, these
Praetors.
lads
So
and ladies.
these absolute first captains, these
Yeah.
like would definitely win in a fight against
Yeah.
Sigismund. Like I
Yeah.
tell you who they definitely win in a fight against. Fucking
Remus
Corfe
Ventalis.
Remus Ventanus. So if you'd like to support us, we run a Patreon. Of course, we run a Patreon. We're on YouTube, so of course we run a Patreon. We do an extra 2 shows a month that we do Tactica, talking about rules or units or what a cunt Ventanus is. We we do giveaways for our top tier. We have 3 different levels, and Praetor is our top level. We are currently giving away gaming tokens in a very sexy little box. You still
Oh,
have
they're
a few
really
days
good.
left. If you sign up before the end of March, you will get them in 6 months' time. But shout out to these guys. We genuinely couldn't do this without the support of all our patrons, but especially our Praetor tier patrons. So a massive, massive, massive thank you to all these guys. It really does kind of, I know all these YouTube channels say say the same thing, but it really does allow us to do things like the website that has just gone live. We haven't actually mentioned that, have we?
No, I will. I'm just No, we haven't. I'll do an announcement this weekend and
Okay,
share and
okay.
spread it.
So yeah, look out for that. Look out for the website announcement. But a huge, massive thank you to all these guys. If you've made it this far, give us a like, a subscribe, comment. It helps the fucking YouTube bullshit algorithm. Check out at Heresy Hammer Show
Allegedly.
on Instagram and hashtag Heresy Hammer for our community shows. If you want to send Kerry an email telling him how fucking terrible his ideas were on today's show, because it was definitely all Kerry and not us, heresyhammer30k@gmail.com. If you want to send us any lists you want evaluating or tearing to pieces, if you want to bully Rob because he slags off people's gaming clubs, then feel free to email him there. Like I've said, we're on Patreon. Just search Heresy Hammer. We are available on podcasts. We are slowly putting our shows on. We have obviously a
Yes,
massive
very
backlog
slowly.
of the
That's
show.
yes.
It's getting done. There are shows on there. So obviously all your podcasting sources, go check that out. And our WhatsApp community, we will put a link in the show, but there is a link in our Instagram link tree. There are like 5 million people on there. And there has been a lot of hot gossip lately about the potential upcoming third edition. So if you fancy some chat about that, you'll probably have to scroll back 500 messages, but it's in there. So yeah, it's a big thank you for me. Anyone else got anything to say?
No, just thank
No,
you
mate.
guys. Thanks for watching.
Thanks. Yeah, thanks for tuning in. Thank you for putting up with us. And yeah, we'll see you soon.
Take care. See you on the next one. Bye bye.
Bye now.
Bye bye.